Hey folks, back here with another video. Wanted to go over a few things that I really like about my 2025 Suzuki DR650. So first off is the design. I mean, it looks like it's straight out of the 90s. Because it is. It's really not something that's changed in almost 30 years. You still have the old school cowl with the old light. I've changed mine to an LED. You still have the huge fender out front. Long travel forks with the bellows. Air-cooled engine always looks cool. No pun intended. And as they say, bold new graphics. That's really all that's changed. Paint scheme on the tank. A big old muffler here, which I know a lot of people like to change out. I haven't really decided on changing anything yet. You got the old school lights. Changed all mine to LEDs. And of course, with that old design, you get carburetor with a choke, analog instrument cluster with a mechanical odometer. Still have old school key, not like a fancy BMW GS that's push start. You have 3 indicator lights, and you don't even get a clock. I've added this Casio F91W on mine, so I can have some sort of clock. So the second thing that I love about this bike is the engine and transmission. They're just so bulletproof. Nothing really goes wrong with them, especially on the later years. I know we had some issues with the neutral sending unit bolts weren't Loctited and they could back out and grenade your transmission. We don't have that issue anymore. I know we had, I think, a weak second or third gear a while ago. And again, on the newer models, you just don't have that issue anymore. So it's overall very robust engine, very robust transmission. Now, coming from, you know, a much more modern bike, for me, I have my 2015 Yamaha WR250R. The transmission feels very different compared to this. That's a 6-speed, very nicely machined shifter. The shifts feel very clean, very sharp, and not a lot of travel on the shifter. With the DR650, it's completely different. There's a lot of throw in between gears, a lot of play in the shifter. You really have to command it into gear. And honestly, once you get used to it, it's a really fun experience because you don't have to be gentle with it. You can just, you know, kick it into gear and it's always going to go. It's never going to complain. It always just works. Same thing with the engine. You've got that external oil cooler, which honestly looks very interesting in my opinion. Everyone that I show this bike to thinks it's a radiator, which I guess it kind of is, but there's no coolant running through it, right? It's just your straight engine oil. I know a lot of people have complained about it too. Like on regular car reviews, they reviewed I think it was a 2013 DR650. Funny review, you should watch it. He's a pretty funny guy. But he complained that, you know, your right leg just cooks because it's on the right side of the bike. You get all that oil cooler heat. Well, it's kind of true to some extent. At the same time, that's how it is on my WR. The radiator's on the right side of the bike. There's a lot of bikes that only have a radiator on one side. So it's not like it's a totally unique experience. So the last thing that I love about my DR is the aftermarket. As you can see on mine, I've got quite a few bolt-on accessories, quite a few modifications. Nothing too out of the ordinary. I'm sure you've seen plenty of other bikes on YouTube and Instagram that have way more modifications than mine. But these are modifications that I've done right off the bat. So like I mentioned before, number 1, LED lights everywhere. Even the turn signal indicators, there's plenty of different manufacturers that make indicator relays that are compatible with LED lights. I also have these Zeta handguards on here. Now these are universal fit, to be fair, but they do fit nicely on the DR. And you've got those smoked out LED lights. I have those as running lights on this. In terms of protection and controls, I've got quite a few modifications. So right off the bat, I've got my B&B off-road skid plate. I think this is the best skid plate that they make for this bike. I've tried a couple different ones. I have a YouTube short that I made regarding that, and I still think this is the best one. It's the most expensive one, but you really do get what you pay for. In terms of controls, I've got the ProCycle lowering kit for the foot pegs. The foot pegs were just a little bit too tall for me. It made it feel a little cramped. So these kind of lower it. They get rid of the rubber bushing that's in there. So it's nicer if you want to stand on the pegs when you're off-road. Much wider peg. It's like a Yamaha style. I also have a Warp 9 brake pedal here. This was fairly necessary in my opinion. When you lower the foot pegs, you also have to kind of shift down where the brake pedal is. Otherwise it's too high and then you have to lift your foot up to get to it, and it's just kind of awkward. So this was a great solution for me. I did need to modify it. I had to tap some more threads in the little bracket here that threads into the master cylinder. It wasn't too difficult to do. Other than that, it works great. I also have case savers glued on both sides. That's a must on the DR650. It sounds like the engine cases are just made of paper mache, so you really need to protect them in case you drop the bike. I have these Acerbis frame guards. I almost always ride this with full motocross boots. That goes for both of my dual sports. They will rub up on the paint of the frame and wear it out. So this really helps with that. They just zip tie on. I put some rubber in between so it just doesn't contact with any paint there. And you put a screw in here. There's no modification to the frame whatsoever. That just taps into one of the frame plugs. And then it also zip ties to the master cylinder here. Similar setup on the other side. Not too expensive, and I think it's a great add-on for any DR650. I also have the Warp 9 shifter, just to match the other side. Honestly, don't really need to change the stock shifter. And this is the last of my aftermarket items on my DR650. I've got a seat concept seat. This is the standard height seat, probably one of the best out there. Wasn't really too much wrong with the stock seat in my opinion. I know a lot of people complain about it. I thought it was fine. It wasn't anything special, but this seat is a lot better. It's a lot more comfortable. And I just do feel like I get more control since I stick to the bike a little bit better. I usually wear textile gear, and with the gripper top, it's really nice. I bought a seat concept seat because I have it on my WR250R as well. That's the low ring seat because the WR is a skyscraper. I've had that seat for over 3 years on the WR, so I thought it's really no brainer to do the same thing on this bike. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed that. Just a short, quick video. Wanted to share with you guys my experience on this bike so far. I've had it for 6 months. Haven't ridden it much though. It hasn't even hit 300 miles yet. But I'm hoping to put more miles on it over the holiday season. Of course, I will give you some more feedback. Let me know if you guys like videos like this. I can do a similar one on my WR, or even on the DR. I could do another video about things I don't like. That's a relatively short list. Anyways, please like, subscribe, comment, give me some feedback. Have a happy holiday season.